Tales from the Arabian Nights. In the previous story, we listened how Princess Sherazade started telling stories. But you know what these stories did? It saved the princess from being executed because Princess Sherazade began telling the story, but she did not end the story. And so this left the Sultan with a great suspense. And since he is a person who attends to the country's affairs very early in the morning, he told the princess, I shall listen to the rest of the story the following night. And that is how Princess Sherazade continued telling her stories for 1001 nights. This is the first story that she said, the story of the merchant and the genie. Once upon a time, there lived a merchant who had lots of wealth in land, money, in every form. From time to time, he would take long journeys due to business. So, once on such journey, which was quite a long journey, he was passing through the desert, returning from his business affairs. On the fourth day of his journey, he became very tired. He found at the foot of a large walnut tree a fountain of clear and running water. So he went there, dismounted, fastened his horse to a branch of the tree, and sat by the mountain. From his pockets, he picked up a few dates that he had brought from home, and he had them. While he was having those dates, he threw a few stones, just like that. When he was thus employed, he saw a big, white, raging genius screaming. Arise! He cried in a terrible voice. And let me kill you as you have killed my son. The merchant did not understand anything. He was very scared. He asked the genie, Sire, I haven't killed anybody. For this, the genius said, Did you not sit under the tree and eat the dates? And while eating the dates, did you not throw the stones? The merchant said, Yes, sir, I did. While you were throwing stones like that, a stone hit my son's eye, who was passing by that way, and he bled very heavily, and he died. And so, I am going to kill you the way you have killed my son. The merchant was very, very scared. He said, Sir, I did not kill your son intentionally. It was my mistake. Please, please forgive me, sir. But the genie was not ready to forgive. The merchant continued to beg. But the genie was not ready to forgive at all. So the merchant asked for 1 year's grace period, and he promised that he would return the same day the next year. He said he would go home and farewell his children and wife. And so the genie gave 1 year time for him to go home and bid his goodbyes. The merchant returned home. His wife and children were very happy to see him after such a long journey. But the merchant was very sad. His wife asked, "My dear, what is it that makes you look so very sad?" The merchant told his wife what had happened. Everybody was in tears. The merchant started clearing out his debts. He started giving a lot of things to the poor. And after 1 year, he returned with a lot of tears and a heavy heart back to the genie. He sat under the walnut tree. When he was sitting, there came an old man leading a hind. They greeted one another, and the old man said, "May I ask you, brother, what brought you to this desert place? There are so many evil genies here. To see these beautiful trees, one would imagine it was inhabited. But you see, it is a very dangerous place to step along." The merchant told the old man why he was obliged to come there. He listened in astonishment. He said, "This is a marvelous affair. I should like to be a witness of your interview with the genie." So, the old man sat down beside the merchant under the walnut tree. While they were talking to one another, there came another old man with 2 black dogs. He greeted them and asked them what they were doing in this place. The old man who was leading the hind told him the adventure of the merchant and the genius. The second old man had no sooner heard the story, said he would also stay and witness the adventure between the genie and the merchant. And while they were talking, there came another old man. He asked them what the story was. And he said he also would stay to see what was happening between the genie and the merchant. Soon, in a distance, they saw thick smoke like a cloud of dust. This smoke came nearer and nearer. Then all at once it vanished, and they saw the genie, who, without speaking to any of them, approached the merchant with the sword in his hand. And he said, "Get up, you merchant, and let me kill you the way you killed my son." The merchant and the 3 old men began to weep and groan. The old man, leading the hind, threw himself at the monster's feet and said, "O Prince of the Genie, I beg you to stay your fury and listen to me. I am going to tell you my story and that of the hind I have with me. And if you find it more marvelous than that of the merchant whom you are about to kill, I hope that you will do away with the third part of his punishment." To this, the genie thought for some time, and he said, Very well. I agree to this. And soon the night was over and the sun came out. This time it was not just the Sultan who was waiting for the suspense to get over, but the genie too was waiting to listen to the story. Aren't you all interested to know what happened next? But you'll have to wait until the next story comes. This is Abhi telling stories for Story Island. Good night, sweet dreams.